What's up? It's your boy Laws OSS 980 other side of sports in the building. My man Aaron, we rocking out. This is the portion that I like to call Stern's orders. And there's a lot of stuff that be happening in the NBA. Aaron, you know I'm conspiracy theorist number one, maybe number two, because everything I don't know is a conspiracy. But what I do know is that Vegas got their hands in everything, dog. And they gonna move and shake any way that they can move and shake. And I also know that the NBA primarily is a business. And whenever you're doing with business, if I'm running 7-Eleven and I got Coca-Cola and that joint is selling off the shelves, guess what I'm gonna do, Aaron, as a business owner? I'm gonna order more Coca-Cola. I'm going to have a sign outside the door when you come in that's going to point to the Coca-Cola because that joint is moving, doing numbers, right? The NBA isn't much different, people. And how y'all think stuff happens organically, I do believe that there is an organic piece that goes into it. But what I'm telling you is that there's people in the boardroom somewhere that's connected to the NBA and they're looking at these players, Aaron. They're looking at all of these players, right? And they're asking themselves one question. You know what that question is, Aaron?
What's that?
Who can we get behind? Who
Oh,
can we push to the forefront of the store? Who can we herald as the next coming of Michael Jordan to the league? Why is this important?
LeBron getting up there.
Your guy, LBJ, who you've had for 20 seasons, is now starting to show signs of wear and tear. His best years are behind him, even though he played phenomenal this year. Things are changing. It's a new class. I think Steph Curry is a great player, but he's also starting to climb up there in age. And a lot of the guys that you would want to stand behind, it's hard to do that. It's like the music business. When you get these new artists that don't really know how the business works, right? And they bring them in, guess what? They can give them the major contract. They're going to be geek sized. When you've been in the industry for a while, guess what? You know how crooked it is. You don't want to deal with it no more. You want to be independent. And a lot of these older players that know how the league works, seen them, get behind some and discard others, it's just hard. Now, is Ja Morant the guy? He going back and forth on Twitter with fans. The league needs a guy that they can control, that they can sell, Aaron, that they can push to the forefront of the store and everybody buys.
So what makes him so much more marketable than everybody else? Why you think Luka is the guy?
Luka has. He has what they've been looking for years, Aaron.
When Larry
They've been
Bird
looking
retired
for
since like
they've
what,
been looking
91,
for
92?
this since the extinction of Larry Bird, dog. Now Luka's not all the way white, but he's white enough. And I think that they feel, so when you see Stern's orders, right? And when we talk about Stern's orders, because some people don't really understand the concept. See, Stern's orders is the interplay between making it happen and chance and possibility. It's the intersection of the two. It's where they want certain outcomes and they try to push certain outcomes, and where they have the ability to make that outcome come to fruition, they do. But they also let things play out, right? And they also put things in place to try to, I would say, make players earn the right. So you can't just give Stearns orders to anybody, dog. It could be detrimental to your league if you just give Stearns orders to anybody. You know who had basically Stearns orders in his hand and then fumbled it? Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant had Stearns orders. They was looking to make him the new MJ, and he was just about there. And then he had this scandal. The scandal made him draw back the Stearns orders, and he was able to redeem himself because he played nice all the way out. Look at the pre-Kobe life before the scandal, Joe, when he was cheating on his youngin, and that came out, and then after. Bama was squeaky clean after that, Aaron.
You had to be. That was a smack on the wrist. Like you're not untouchable out here.
You not untouchable.
You
Bro,
cross
this
paths
player
with the complexion for the protection, and you gonna lose every time. So get right.
You gonna lose. So when you look at it, you look at the landscape. Ja Morant, so exciting as a player, so dynamic as a player. Health issues a little questionable. Some of the decisions he's making off the court, little, the league is they care about image, and we noticed they care. You know who should have had Stearns orders?
Black image.
Allen
Let's be clear.
Iverson. That's true. That's true. Jokic, I feel like Jokic could get the Stearns orders, but they won't give it to it. Just don't. He's not exciting enough.
Bigs don't get the same love. They want to see guys do crossovers and shooting
They
fadeaway
don't get the
threes
same
and talking
love.
trash.
I think when you look at the landscape of the NBA, you look at the players who could get the Stearns orders. This is when you get the stamp of approval, you are the face of the league. And when you are the face, guess what they got to do? They got to push your brand to the front of the line. Now, this is about to be a stretch, but you could potentially see this year. Usually what happens, before I go off the deep end, Aaron, usually what happens with the Stearns orders is that you got to earn it, but they give it to you. It's weird because you got to show that they put you through tests, essentially, to give you the stamp. And so, Luka, he got knocked out the first round last year. This year he comes, he makes it a little bit further. It's creating a storyline. I actually think that this series is going to go 7 games, Aaron, with the Golden State Warriors. Not because
it's no way you think
that. Not because the Dallas Mavericks are a good enough team to take the Golden State Warriors to the 7 games. I believe it because I know how the Stearns orders works.
But you also know that you got to have a huge margin of error, and they don't like going within that margin of error. If you take it to game 7, anything can happen. And if you end up with Luka in the finals, dog.
So again, the way Luka plays, you're willing to take that chance. We know the Stearns orders can backfire, though. It backfired. You know the last time it backfired? With the Dallas Mavericks. And the Mavericks came out victorious in that whole situation. When they beat LeBron and them, and that wasn't the way it was supposed to go. Dirk Nowitzki, that Bama couldn't miss. Jason Terry couldn't miss, Aaron. And they beat Stearns orders, which you cannot do regularly under regular circumstances. Because they have narratives that they want to put to the forefront of the store. Because they want you to buy these narratives. They want you to buy these players. Luka is the closest, dog. Embiid, he health issues, can't do it. Luka, he a big, like you say, just not that exciting, even though the Bama might, in my opinion, might be the best all-around player in the league, passing,
Jokic,
shoot. Yeah,
Jokic.
he's a problem, though. His game not flashy, and his game doesn't make you want to watch him. But when the game's over, the Bama got 35, 15, and 10. It's like Jason Tatum, I think he's right there on the cusp. I think he's right there on the tier. They starting to look at him now in the Stearns orders conversation. You got what's my man from the Hawks? What's his name? Pretty boy Floyd. We looking at Trey. You got Trey Young, who I think has elements, but those disappearing. In order for Steph to get the Stearns orders, dog, this Bama had to be like unreal. Like you had to look at him like, dog, this Bama is unreal. He's shooting from half. Like he had to do something unbelievable to get that status. And part of that was that they were branded together. You had Steph, Clay, Katie all together, like that whole brand together. You were like, we gotta get behind this. But Luka,
Yeah, I think that's the most impressive part is he doesn't have a number 2 or number 3 really to go alongside with what he's able to do. And then ever since the Celtics run with KG, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce, the league has made it seem like you have to have that big 3 to do anything in the playoffs. And it's not to say that they're about to win the chip or that they're going to even win the Western Conference Finals, but what he's been able to do with Dinwiddie, who I still think is a bum, and the boy Brunson could get buckets though. The boy Brunson could get buckets, and he about to be a free agent. So Wizards, you need to get on that. But he's got guys that can play, but he doesn't have elite top big 2, big 3 type of players with him.
Mm-mm. He does not.
And there's a lot of players that have a lot of excuses because they don't have that number 2 or number 3 with him. And Luka out there in the West getting it done. So he got to get credit for that. And it's not like one thing about the Stearns orders, if it's anybody deserving the push and pull behind the scenes, he's been the one. Like it's a lot of other guys who've been teasing, the greatness, and he got the package of the whiteness. Like the Bama can play ball. He got the personality. He's not scared. Like if anybody fit the bill, like to me, this makes so much sense. And he's in Dallas isn't a big basketball market, but the sports market there because of the Cowboys is already where it needs to be. So if this Bama can end up being the type of player that gets notoriety like a Dirk Nowitzki, which he could even get more notoriety than that if he keeps this up, like, dog, this is a perfect storm. Just in time for LBJ going away in the Civil War, dog, this joint is perfect for the NBA.
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, you look at the faces. If I'm handing out Stearns orders, this is who's getting it. And I'm telling you, it's going to be interesting watching this series because you have the Golden State Warriors, which everybody and their mother believes that they're going to win this series, hands down. And sometimes when everybody believes one thing and there's money involved, Aaron, guess who steps in?
Got me last night, dog. I went on the FanDuel. I went on the DraftKings sportsbook joint, right? And I'm like, it's no way Phoenix lose this joint. I was about to tease the joint all the way down. I was like, yeah, we put 1,000 just to win like $200. I was like, this guaranteed. But you gotta be in Virginia to do it. They wouldn't even let you do it from DC, so I ain't even get to put that in, dog.
No, and it happened the other night with the Golden State Warriors and the Memphis Grizzlies.
Yes.
The Golden State Warriors were up 3-1 playing the Memphis Grizzlies, and Ja Morant was out. Even if you thought that the Golden State Warriors were going to lose, you would have not teased it plus 10, Aaron.
No way.
No way. And when Vegas knows that you going outside without a raincoat, guess what?
It's over with. And you know how much money they made? If
you know how much money
last night?
First of all, you'd have put a hit out on that man.
He'd have been right in the category with Matt Ryan and the rest of these choke.
And that's the thing. Like, in light of Stern's orders, right? Like I said, they will help you to a fault. You can't rely on it all the way. They will not give you the keys. You have to take it. Chris Paul, I mean, I get it. You at the end of your career, body's not the same. But there's really no excuse for you losing that game.
Up 2-0. Up 2-0.
That's a major collapse. And if you weren't Chris Paul, the likable guy that everybody,
If you
I
was
think
James
people,
Harden, we just was talking about favorites. If you was
but
Jimmy Butler,
but
it's a,
again, he has what you call, it's not Stern's orders. He has he has Stern's orders to some degree, but this Stern's orders is guilt. It's guilt Stern's orders because they botched him being able to be traded to the Lakers back in the day. They sabotaged that whole deal, and came alongside him and said, "Look, man, we gonna try to help you out here and there." When he was in New Orleans, and they botched that whole jump. So Stern's orders is always in effect. They always pulling strings. They making deals happen. The next Stern's orders deal, I'm telling y'all gonna see is Zion being shipped to a big market. They behind the scenes saying, where can we put these players in these big markets? This Ja Morant experimentation, they gonna watch it for a little bit, but don't be surprised you start hearing murmurings about him wanting to leave. Sometimes those murmurs, not even the players or their agent. It's the league putting it out there. I'm just saying. You better start believing in Stern's orders if you don't. Because I'm telling you, they pulling the strings. This series with the Golden State Warriors, what you think is going to go? 5 games max?
5 games.
4-1?
4-1.
I say the series. I say the series goes 6 or 7 games. Guaranteed. Stamp that on Stern's orders.
The league can use them. I'm never going to bet against them boys getting the money. You know them.
They go and get them. Once you lean it all the way here, they like, got him. So,
and there's also an experiment for like LeBron is out, like KD is out. All of the guys, what's the other guy? Now
Embiid.
What's the dude everybody like? Well, I don't get him out. The
DeRozan, Giannis.
All of their guys are out. Like the people who you kind of lean on their name cachet to be able to pull viewers. They get to see if this complexion for the protection actually works on the big stage. Like, is he going to be able to draw in? You might not draw in what LeBron was drawing, but can you get close? Like, there are no big names left after, like, you got Steph still there, but nobody's really high on Jimmy Butler in the Heat. Like, I haven't heard anybody outside of myself talking about the Heat.
Jimmy Butler can't get Stern's orders, Aaron.
No, I'm not talking about the orders. I'm talking about that's name remaining. Recognition. Right. Name recognition and still being there and that can play. So it almost makes sense though. Like if these Bamas end up if they beat the Warriors and end up in the finals, though.
You heard it here
White
first.
America is going to be untenable for the remainder of this Bama's career.
You heard it here first.
They're going to start talking about he's the best player in the world.
If he beats the Golden State Warriors, y'all need to share this podcast to everybody you know. Because I'm telling you, Aaron, you got to find new faces.
What you got on game one? Let's go to game one. That's going to tell it. Game one is going to tell us the direction of the entire series. We're going to see how the refs is managing the game.
No, but you know the formula for Stern's orders to work, right? It can't be obvious. And part of it too, so just so people are clear, because people are like, dog, you saying it's rigged? Is this? What I'm saying is they go into a game And the referees have instructions on how to call a game, whether tight or loose, depending on what's decided. And then they let the game play. And as the game play, if you get down into the fourth quarter and there's 3 minutes left, and you have a team on the fringes and you have an agenda or a narrative you trying to run as a league business, then guess what? We can make it happen because they stayed in the game. But if the game get away from you the first 10 minutes and the jump 30-point deficit, and it's just like, oh, it's harder for them to try to do the funny business to get it back. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to go to that extent. They're not going to go to that extent. That's why the league started like being more after the Dallas Mavericks jump. And they started like, oh, nah, we can't have this happen again. Right. And it was okay. But ultimately, you trying to avoid running into situations where it don't play out the way you wanted to play out from a business standpoint. This has nothing to do with, this is all business, people, all business. Every move and decision the NBA makes is all business related. That's why there won't be a real heavy backing to Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler, they cannot control Jimmy Butler. Again, back to the analogy with the record artists. It's hard to sign the Snoop Dogs and the people who already been through it's hard to like sell them. It's hard because they know the business. They know how it go. And some people, they don't necessarily want that. They're not looking for no handouts but then other players is like, I'll take it. Just depends. We gonna see. Game 1 when? Wednesday?
You got
Mark my
wings on game
words.
one, or you think Golden State gonna take one?
Dog, it's in Golden State. They should win every game at their house. They
You
had
said the same
extra
thing about
rest.
Phoenix when they was up 2-0.
I mean, I think if the Dallas Mavericks have a chance, they have to take one of these first 2 games. And if they do, which game you think Vegas will make more money off of? Game 1 or game 2? If Dallas win.
Game 1 for sure.
So if Golden State go and blow, because we talking about how to get the most money. If Golden State go out and blow out the Dallas Mavericks in game 1, let's say the final score 121-98, they just punish them. Game 2, I think if the Mavericks win game 2, Vegas will probably stand to make more money.
So I think the spread would be so skewed if Golden State blows them out in game 1 that it's going to scare people away from taking. Like when I looked at the spread last night, the Phoenix joint versus Dallas, it was 6.5, which to me was too much to begin with. And it's part of like,
and at game 7,
yes, if the spread would have been 2.5 within a score, like a 3-point shot, I'd have taken it and locked it in.
What's the spread on the game Wednesday?
I can pull it up now.
Yeah, because that'll tell me, because Vegas give you clues. We know that Vegas will give you clues. They'll give you clues, but usually it's to your demise if you don't know how to read the clues.
$5.5 Warriors. See what I'm saying? Like that's a doable. But if they blow them out, that's going to creep to 6.5, 7.5, which that makes a big difference. Like 5.5 is 2 shots in a basketball game.
Yeah.
And the free throws, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I feel like if they tax them too bad, a lot of people are just going to watch to see how game 2 goes before the people with the smart money anyway, they're going to watch game 2 and not bet on that one and wait till Dallas comes home to see if they can get Golden State at a
Mm,
2.5 versus taking them at a 7.5 at home. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. It's gonna be interesting for sure. Follow us at OSS 980 at Other Side of Sports. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, Aaron. It's in the works. We'll see you after this series. We out.